into the household as well. And that's basically the whole gist of kindergarten. Um, if you have any questions, I guess we're open to questions, Ms. Graybow.
Yes, so I just want to add a little bit. So every class does go to a special class each day. We have a full-time art teacher, a full-time music teacher, a phys ed teacher, and a technology teacher. So every single day, your child will go to one of those classes as well as their core subjects. The day begins at 8:20, so the children are expected to be in school, inside of school at 8:20, and they are dismissed at 2:40. We usually let the kindergarten children out a few minutes earlier so that they don't get caught up in the older kids dismissing at the same time. Every child in New York City, as of this year, is entitled to free breakfast and free lunch. We do a community breakfast in the classroom, so the children take a grab and go breakfast in the morning on their way up to class. They eat it in class together. And then lunchtime, they also get a variety of choices. And so half the period is spent in the lunchroom eating, and the other half of the period is spent outside on nice days playing. And if the weather is inclement, then they watch a movie in our auditorium. Now, if you have questions for the kindergarten teachers, feel free to just come off mute and jump in. The group is not that large, so you should be able to just answer a question if you come off.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, I am on the website looking for the supply list. I don't see it, but
they haven't been posted yet. It's not,
not yet.
No, we'll post them before school ends next Monday. So we'll post it by sometime next week.
Okay, thank you so much. And I also have one more question.
Sure.
Just wondering about, they are very young. What policy is in place at the school for, challenging behaviors?
So we have a chain of command. Usually the teacher is the first one to respond if there is difficult behavior. After that, we do have a full-time social worker, a part-time social worker, a school psychologist, and a guidance counselor that also help if there is difficulty. Of course, the top of the chain would be Mr. Kosovitsis or myself, and of course, parent interaction. There's very little school suspension. It isn't like when I was a kid and you got suspended and had to stay home from school. We've never had to suspend a kindergarten child. Behaviors are usually not that severe in this building in general. But that's usually how we deal with it. So the teacher is the first line of command. The teachers have many ways that they communicate with families. They use Class Dojo, they email, obviously they can call. So we also get the parents involved if we feel it's a severe behavior.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, this question is maybe for the teachers. As parents, we would like to know if there's something that we as parents can do to accompany our children, any recommendations so they can do better in school?
So just to better prepare them for coming into school, basic sort of social skills as well, being able to use the bathroom by themselves, trying to teach them to be responsible for their belongings, put everything as a place, cleaning up after themselves, reading books to them over the summer, obviously, just to, immerse them in that kind of story language. If they could write their name, that's a good start as well. Anything else?
Just basic, skills, self-help skills that they know how to take care of their belongings, use the bathroom, recognize their name.
Being kind is something we always emphasize, using kind words, doing kind things.
Promote them to be able to express their self verbally. So if they're upset, or if something happened, to be able to explain what happened and not just cry.
And react, right?
Right. We need to be able to understand so that we can be their helpers.
And if they're having difficulty expressing themselves, maybe modeling a sentence that can help them express what it is that they're feeling or what they need.
Also simple things, simple skills like using a scissor, having them practice using a scissor, having them glue pictures on a page, just simple skills like that. But I found even as a parent that the most important thing that you can do with your children is to read to them every single day. You can point to the words that you're reading so they start to do one-on-one correspondence with the words.
Just maybe, you know, sight words, a basic sight word like the or something that, you know, that repeats in a book.
Also holding a pencil correctly.
Holding a pencil correctly.
And also celebrating that they already know how to read. You know, this is something that parents seem to not acknowledge. Children know how to read environmental print. So celebrate that if they recognize McDonald's, if they recognize Wendy's, if they recognize the stop sign, they are readers already.
And if they can talk about a picture, if they can tell us, if they're looking at a book and they can talk about the picture, that's pre-reading skills.
Practice counting also with the one-to-one correspondence, using their finger to touch and count.
So those are just some of the things you can do to foster your child's learning going into kindergarten, and also celebrate that they're going into kindergarten so that the transition will be easy from preschool to the new school or from preschool to kindergarten.
You can bring them, you take them for a neighborhood walk past the school over the summer. This is going to be your new school. Make them excited about school. Show them the yard outside. This is where you're going to play at lunchtime. Just to make sure that they don't have any anxiety because it's someplace new that they've never seen before. Does that help?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
so
Awesome.
Welcome.
I have another question. I'm sorry. Our daughter, she doesn't speak English well. We only speak Spanish at home. So I have a question. She's gonna have some help at the beginning, or how this works?
Well, we have 2 ESL teachers on staff full time. So I am assuming that she will get ESL services. So they work with the classroom teachers to know what the classroom teachers are doing in the class. And they work with the children. We have a lot of non-English speaking children in the building, a lot. So it's not anything to worry about. And when they're little, they pick up English so quickly. And then if there's another child in the class that speaks the same language, they'll pair them. Sometimes children are bilingual and they can help also to talk to them in Spanish and in English. So that's not anything to worry about. Your child will be speaking English a lot quicker than you would as an adult because we have so much stuff in our brains. But the 2 teachers are fabulous and they will start picking them up at the beginning of the school year.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning. I have a question. How does the bathroom system work? Are they in the classroom? Are they going to be in the hallway or?
So there are bathrooms that are dedicated for kindergarten. Kindergarten classes are all on the 2nd floor. There is one bathroom that's dedicated just for kindergarten students, and they're often taken in a group at different points of the day. And then of course, if they need to use the bathroom, they're sent with a partner.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. More questions?
Well, I have a question about ESL program. So should I apply for the program, or what should I do to be engaged in that program?
The students are tested based on the language survey that you filled out when you registered your child. If they pass the ESL exam, then they do not get services. And if they do not, then they do receive services. So it's all based on a test called the NYSESLAT test. And that will determine whether or not they receive ESL services. And the teachers will be doing that also right at the beginning.
Okay, thank you. So how does that work? Does the ESL teacher push into the class, or?
Are there a separate class for that?
They do both. They do push in and they do pull out.
Okay.
Also, Cindy, are you going to talk about lunch forms and all of that stuff? I guess I will do that. So we're going to also ask, there are what we used to call lunch forms, but now they're called family income forms that you can start to fill out online on the DOE website. And what that is a way for the DOE to fund the school. So we try to get 100% of all families to fill out these forms. Even as a mom, I've filled them out myself. So when we start to send them home, we'll send them home on paper, but again, you can access them online. If you could fill those out, that helps us out a lot. So if you could start to look for that. Other questions?
I'm sorry. I have a question.
Don't say sorry. That's why we're here. Go ahead.
When dropping them off on the first day, will they be dropped off at the school playground or?
Yes. So we have areas assigned for specific grades. Kindergarten and pre-K are separated from the older kids. If you are in the back of our building, again, the spaces will be labeled and there will be teachers and staff outside the first couple of days, especially, so that the children will see their teacher and they'll hold up a sign with the class number, which you'll get over the summer in your letter. You'll know which class that your child is assigned to. Okay. But the littles, as I call them, line up in the smaller yard. So if you're facing the school, it's all the way down to the right, the furthest yard to the right. You'll see there's the big yard where the big kids are, and then you keep going down.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, Terry, my mic was muted. Our PTA president is also on the call today, and can she say a few words before she has to leave in a few minutes?
Yeah, can you also put the slides back up so that I can see where we're at? Okay, our current PTA president, Kende Raji, is on the phone. On the Zoom. She has been our PTA president for a multitude of years, and we are so grateful. Her last daughter is graduating from PS31 this week, so she will be stepping down as PTA president. But she'll talk to you a little bit about the role of being part of the executive board or being part of the PTA and how you can help out your child's school, especially when your kids are first coming in kindergarten. Being part of the PTA is an awesome way to get involved in school. So Kende, if you want to come off mute.
Is she there? Kende, are you there?
I saw her here. Hold on, let me just check if she bounced off. I don't see her now.
You have to rush off. I can say a few words for her if you like. Our PTA is a major support of our school. They hold monthly PTA meetings, which you guys can all attend. As a parent and guardian of the PTA, you're automatically a member of the PTA. They do ask for like a minimal donation at the beginning of the year for membership drive, but they're a big help and they help support our school in different ways. They've helped host field day for us, for the kids, and they do fun things for the school, which is amazing. You can help by donating your time and helping out with their initiatives, and you can follow them on Facebook. They have a private group on there if you want to join that. It's PS31Q PTA. And someone will help accept your requests on there. Is there anything else to add for PTA, Terry?
If you join the Facebook page, every notice that is out through the school is also posted there. So if you miss a paper or an email, it's very often posted on the PTA page. Also, we have a school app. It's if you go on to, if you have an iPhone or an Android, PS31Q. You can download our app, and we send out a lot of notifications through the app as well, and through our website at ps31q.com. So that's a bunch of ways that you can get information. I would suggest you watch the website over the summer, because we'll, as I said, we'll post the supply list so that you can enjoy the sales that go on at Staples and Target. We try to keep these supplies to a minimum. So, and if there's any problem with you getting supplies, you can let us know, and we can help out as well. The PTA does do a lot of school fundraisers. We were finally able to have them back in our building to help. So you can volunteer for a specific fundraiser. We do book fairs and bake sales and all kinds of fun things. So even if you have just an hour in your day, we can always use help.
They also did a pumpkin patch in October, so that's something to look forward to this year. I'm not sure what they're going to plan, but it seems amazing. It
seems like everything is coming back a little bit more normal than it has been in the past couple of years. So it's been a pleasure to have the students in school all year this year and to be able to see their faces. So that's been amazing. Somebody asked in the chat, if you have a concern over the summer, you can reach out to our parent coordinator. She can I'll put her email in the chat.
I also have it on the screen.
Okay. I'll put it
can you see my camera? Am I on camera?
Yeah. No, you're not on camera.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm on iPad, so I'm gonna turn off, I guess. Let's see. So I can show my face.
Okay. So I just put our parent coordinator's email in the chat.
Hi guys.
She works over the summer. We call her Miss Cindy, and she's fabulous. She is the liaison between the parents and the school. So if you have any questions or concerns that are not specific to an issue that you're having in a classroom, you would reach out to Miss Cindy, and she would be able to help you. If you needed information, etc., you would reach out to Miss Cindy. Yes, I was just going to say that. Thank you, Ms. Vega. So we do have an after-school program. It is a self-sustaining after-school program that is Monday through Friday until 5:30. We take the kids straight from dismissal into after-school. It's our own staff that works the after-school program. This year, it was primarily childcare because of the social distancing. But in previous years, and we're hoping next year, that there will be a menu of choices of activities that the children can choose from sports to cooking to making Play-Doh, arts and crafts. So next year we're hoping to have that. Self-sustaining means that there is a fee for the parents to have their children attend, and that fee is solely to staff the program. We do not charge as much as outside vendors do. And a lot of parents like to keep their children here because they don't have to go anywhere after the school day. The only caveat is there is no bus service after dismissal time. So parents have to pick their children up, and it's rolling. So if you finish work at 4:30 and you want to pick your child up at 4:30, you could do that. If you have to keep them here till 5:30, that's fine. So we start childcare the first week of school. So there's very little lag time between when you would have aftercare as to when the school year starts. The fee changes depending on the cycle. We do it basically in 12-week cycles. We'll send home a notice. Maybe we could put something in your kindergarten letter. So once we figure out how many weeks each cycle will be, we'll be able to ascertain how much the fee will be. Hang on. Can we visit the classroom before school begins? We normally do this orientation in person. If you feel that your child is going to have anxiety and you want to visit, the only caveat for that is adults need to be vaccinated to come into the building. So you would have to be able to show your vaccine card, and you can reach out to Cindy and she can work that out with you.
Yes, definitely. You can call me. I am available Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30, but you can email me anytime. I'm gonna have the email on the screen. It's clau6942@schools.nyc.gov.
Our students finish the school year on a week from today. And actually, we could probably work it out for when they are actually out of the building, so that the school is empty, and then we could walk you around freely.
Sounds good. Do you want me to say a few things?
Sure.
Okay. So my role in the building is basically to support you, the families, and communicate between whatever you need, between the administration, the teachers, anything that you have an issue with or questions about, I'm here for you. I work closely with the PTA and encourage parents to participate. It's an exciting journey for you that you're beginning as a parent. For some of you, this is your first child entering pre-K. For others, it's probably not your first go around. So either way, please try to get to know each other, as your children are probably growing up together, and hopefully they'll be here through 5th grade with us, and we'll have a great time. I send out various emails throughout the week on behalf of the school administration, on behalf of Ms. Graybow and myself, by grade. So reach out to me to be put on our emailing list. Again, my email is clau6942@schools.nyc.gov. If you can put your email in the chat, I'll make sure to grab them and make sure you're all informed for next year. If you have any questions during the summer, I'm always here. I work 12 months. So I'll make sure to respond to any emails that I get through the summer as well. Right now, we're also doing a school supplies fundraiser for all the teachers for next year have given us their lists, and you're able to go online and purchase them through the school. A small portion of each kit that's sold would go back to the school as a fundraiser. So the website for that is First Day School Supplies, not first spelled out, but 1ST. First Day School Supplies, and you just look for PS31 Bayside. And they're fairly priced, and everything is, the vendor has said that everything is guaranteed, like the stock is ready for us to go, and the prices are reasonable because, as you know, a lot of things have gone up because of inflation, or there's not enough people in factories to process those orders. So sometimes shipping takes a while, but yeah, they've guaranteed that everything will be shipped to your home and well within time before school starts by FedEx ship to home services. So you guys can take a look at that too if you like. I also have flyers in the front of the school if you're coming into the building to register them and stuff like that.
Can I ask a question about that, please?
Sure.
I'm just wondering, how do we know? I mean, I would assume that it depends on, every teacher. They ask for different supplies. That's my assumption. So how do we know we're getting
the kindergarten teachers? The kindergarten teachers have a supply list that is the same for each class.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a grade level supplies. So they're all coordinated beforehand.
Okay, that's great. My other question is, I know that you said you're welcoming that, we bring our child in to sort of look around the building, to sort of, make sure that they see the building before they actually come on day one. And I was just wondering if you would be willing to, maybe, since we have a lot of the parents here already, if we can maybe schedule a day to have them come on the same day to even see some kids in the building, because you did mention that you want them coming in after the year is over, right? So it might look a little different if there are no kids in the in the building. So I was just wondering if maybe something could be planned so that we could bring them in on the same day and they could still see other kids.
If you drop your email in the chat, I'll work with Miss Cindy after this meeting to try to come up with a date that works.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I just want to thank the kindergarten teachers have to go pick up their children. So I just want to thank them for being with us. And if you have questions for them, you could drop that in the chat and we can answer them through an email.
Bye.
Bye.
Looking forward to meeting you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Also, just to let you know that we do have a full-time nurse on staff. She's here every day. If you have a child that has allergies or any medical issues that we need to know about, it would be good to let the nurse know before the first day of school. If there's medication or EpiPens due to allergies that the nurse may need to administer, there is a form that you need to get from her called a 504 form for us to keep medication in school and for her to be able to administer it. That form can be picked up at school and needs to be filled out by the pediatrician before school starts. And then you could drop your medication off and it gets locked up in a cabinet in school. We have many children that keep inhalers, EpiPens, Benadryl for emergency situations here. Also, if your child has a food allergy, a peanut allergy, something that is life-threatening that the teacher needs to know about, that's something that's really important that we know as a school before your child enters the building so that we make sure that they are not exposed in their classroom to anything that they can have an anaphylactic reaction to. So you can let Miss Cindy know. If you need the 504 form, she can make an appointment with you to come and pick it up at the school and then speak to the school nurse as well. Because normally this would be the opportunity if we had the meeting in person for you to pop into the nurse's office. Also, there is busing for kindergarten. If you live, I believe it's more than 2 miles from the school. I'm going to drop the name in the chat of the person who deals with the busing. Her name is Miss Chrissy. And her email is CBAHR. Does she have, Cindy, a number?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Sorry. That is Miss Chrissy's email. So if you think that you might be entitled to bus service, she would be the person to reach out to and she would check the bus route for you. And then there's a form that you need to fill out for bus service as well.
Excuse me, Ms. Graybow?
Sure.
Cindy, Miss Chrissy does have a number. It's CBAR2.
Okay.
At schools.nyc.gov.
Thanks, Mr. Costavitas. CBAR2.
Oops, sorry. Yes, CBAR2.
There you go. CBAR2 at schools.nyc.gov. And she takes care of all of the busing. If your child has an allergy or some situation that is private that you want the school to know about, please, you can always email me as well. I'll put my email up here. That is my school email. I also work 12 months other than the sporadic vacation days that I have throughout the summer. I do answer my email all the time, and that's the best way to reach me, especially over the summer, because then even if I'm not in school, I will pick up an email. So if you have concerns about your child, if there's a medical issue or a behavioral issue or anything that you need us to know about prior to starting school, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Miss Cindy, and we will get back to you as well.
There was also a question in the chat about, do we have any special education classroom for kids that have learning disabilities or not on the same level? How does it work?
Okay, so we have a variety of different types of classes. We have a general education class, which is a mixture of all different ability levels. We have a class called an integrated co-teaching class, where there are 2 teachers in the classroom. One is a special education teacher, one is a general education teacher. It's a 60-40 ratio of, it's considered a general education class, but there are 40% of the students in that class have what's called an individualized educational plan. And all that means is that they are slightly below grade level and there are 2 teachers in the room to be able to work in small groups. Then we have something called a 12:1 ratio class, which is a smaller class, which only has 12 students, 1 teacher, and 1 paraprofessional. The ICT class and the 12:1 class is generated by something called an individualized educational plan. If your child has one coming in from pre-K, that's something that the school definitely needs to know about so that we make sure that we're placing them in the right class. If you feel your child needs that kind of service or help, then you would have to write a letter to, you could write it to me, and then your child would be evaluated to see what levels they are at and where their strengths and weaknesses are. And then there's a team that does that evaluation and then comes up with a plan for your child. So if you are concerned and you have an issue and it's something that you want to do an evaluation at the beginning of the school year, if you haven't done one through early childhood intervention, then you can shoot me an email at the email that I posted, and I'll explain to you how to go forward from there. Also know that in the general education classrooms and in the ICT classrooms that we differentiate instruction, which means that we work with children at their current levels. So if you have a child in kindergarten that's coming in already reading, they're going to read independently different types of books than the students who are just learning how to read. And the same with math. Students on every grade level take a pre-assessment prior to being taught a specific skill. If they already know how to do that skill, the teachers will work in small groups with students who already know those things and work on something different with them or on a more difficult skill. So it doesn't matter what kind of class your child is in, whether it's even a small class or a general education class, the teachers work with individual students, they work in small groups, and that changes all the time. So your child might know how to add when they're teaching addition, but then the next time if they're learning subtraction, they might not know that. So the pre-assessment helps the teachers to know where your child is at before they teach a skill, and then they move on from there. So you never have to worry that your child is going to be bored. We keep them very busy, no matter what level that they're on. So don't worry about that. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that I missed. And then the person who posted in the chat about the special class, do me a favor, shoot me an email if you need more information about that, and we can help you with that. Any other questions? This is your time. You have us undivided. There's no rush. So if you have questions, it could be the smallest thing, from what they eat for lunch to what they do all day. So I could give you a typical kindergarten day, just so you get a feel for it. So they come in at 8:20, the teachers pick them up. Sure. The teachers pick them up in the morning. There is breakfast available at each entranceway, so the kids can grab their breakfast and they take it upstairs. They spend the first 10 minutes or so eating breakfast together, unpacking and getting ready for the day. Then they go into their regular school day. Usually if they start with reading, writing, phonics, that usually is the first thing that they do. Then they go into math. This year, kindergarten had an early lunch period. Because of social distancing, we had to spread the lunch periods out a little further than we normally do. So they ate at 10:10. Then they go back to the classroom. They might have technology, phys ed, art or music. And then the rest of the day is academic with a snack in the afternoon because they had an early lunch. So the teachers would allow them a snack time. In kindergarten, there is no nap time. It's academic. They do center-based learning where they can choose centers that they go to as well. I'm trying to think if I left anything out. And then they get dismissed at approximately 2:35. So somebody would need to be outside to pick them up at that time. unless they're going to our after-school program. If they go to our after-school program, they are escorted into the cafeteria, which is the meeting place for after school. So yes, they do have snack in kindergarten. Even if they had a later lunch period, then they would have a snack in the morning. If they have an early lunch period, then they have a snack in the afternoon. Cindy, can you put my email in the chat again as well? Thank you. Again, our assistant principal is Mr. Kosovitis. You'll see him, he's outside in the morning, reading the buses, in the afternoon as well. He is also here if you have any questions or concerns. I'm trying to think if I left anything out that you would have questions when you hang up. Any other questions?
You guys can also check out schools.nyc.gov. They frequently post messages for families or any updates with the district. The school calendar is up there if you need that as well.
Yes, the school calendar is a great thing to print out and put on your refrigerator, because then you will know the days that your children will be off. One thing that we try to ask is to try not to plan vacations outside of the vacation time for school, because kindergarten is an academic grade, and the kids are learning all the time. And if they are out for a chunk of time, there is going to be learning loss. So and teachers are not expected to provide material for kids to take away on vacation with them. So please make sure that your kids are in school when they need to, unless they are sick. If they are sick for any reason, we ask that you keep them home. If they have a fever, we ask you to keep them home for 24 hours after the fever subsides. You know, it's different times right now. We are seeing, you know, a decrease in the amount of COVID cases that we've had over the course of the year. So thankfully, and we're hopeful that next year will be a very nice normal school year for all of us. The supply list on first day school supplies site updated for, yes, yes. Yeah, they have the updated school supply list, the company.
Also an important thing that we need is the NYC students account.
Oh.
Every child in the DOE system has an NYC student account that you can sign up for, and you'll be able to see your child's attendance, their report cards go on there, everything important to your student. There's also things like, I think the lunch form they're going to be doing on there as well for free lunch, and for if you want your child tested in schools, the form is on there as well if you want to give permission for that. I'll drop that.
Thank you. And also, do you want to talk a little bit about the Savings for College program for kindergarten?
Yes, so this year, as a pilot program for the NYC DOE, the city had allotted $100 for every kid in kindergarten. Next year, they're going to continue the program. And all you have to do is go on. When your child is officially registered, I would say we would wait like maybe 2 weeks for their OSIS numbers to be uploaded into the system. You can go on to nyckidsrise.org and just sign up. The account is already there. You just have to activate the account, and then your child will get $125, essentially in a savings account for them that will grow over time for them to get ready for college. So that's an amazing thing that they put in place this year. I can also send out more information on that too for you guys.
We know that it becomes an overwhelming amount of information. And again, Cindy will send out emails with more of this information so that you have it all in one place. So please don't feel overwhelmed to write everything down. We will send you a follow-up email with all of the
definitely
outreach, but the setting up your student NYC account is really important. That's where you'll get a lot of the school's account she just dropped in the chat. That's where a lot of information about your child. So my daughter just graduated high school last week, and it followed her from elementary school. I could see her report card from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So that's an important account to have, because then you could track the information on your child all through school.
You may not be able to sign up right away. You'll sign up in sometime in September, because they need the OSIS numbers in the system first.
And an OSIS number is basically your child's identification number for as long as they're in the New York City public school. So once you get that number, just put it somewhere safe, so that if you need to gain information about your child, that would be the number that you use. It's almost like not a social security number, but it works the same way in terms of gaining school information about your child. So that's as we input the classes into the system. So our secretary is working on that now in creating the kindergarten classes for September.
But yeah, like you said, I'll send out a email with everything shortly.
Yes, and we're assuming that when you registered your child that you gave an email address, so we should have everybody's email. If you did not give an email address, again, if you could just drop it in the chat so we have the most current up-to-date email that you check, that would be great. Does anyone have any other questions? How many absentees? There's no specific amount of absences where they require a doctor's note, but obviously if your child is out for a long period of time, it's a good idea to have a doctor's note. If your child is even absent for one day and you take them to the doctor, it doesn't hurt to send the note in. If your child is just out for having a cold and you don't take them to the doctor, then I wouldn't worry about it. The policy is if your child is absent more than a certain percentage of days, then it becomes a red flag. I believe in a school year, or an entire school year, it's 10 days where the red flag kind of goes up. So you try to keep your child's absences to a minimum unless it is for, illness or an emergency.
And if you have an absence due to COVID, we ask that you send us the positive results, either the PCR report or a picture of the at-home test kits. If you use one of those, they're both accepted. And then we can direct you on like the protocol after that, since it's always changing.
And if it's a COVID absence, it's coded in the attendance system so that your child isn't penalized for being absent for the amount of days that the CDC recommends.
You mentioned that they still have that program or app called Dojo.
Yeah, the teachers use.
It's still available for kindergarten?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, the teachers use Dojo to communicate with parents because they feel like it's immediate, and if they need to have a whole class. Yes. So yes, the answer is yes, they use it because it works great.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. I think that's all we have, unless you think of anything else that you want to ask.
I guess also even in my own kids' schools, the general consensus is if your child is sick, that they stay home, sick with and has a fever, they stay home for 24 hours med-free before they can come back.
Okay, so we look forward to working with the new children that are coming in, to continuing to work with our pre-kindergarten children who are here and moving upstairs next year. Again, we will send out an email on a day that would work for families to come in and just take a quick tour of the school and see where the gym is and the cafeteria and what the classrooms look like. We will plan that and send out an email. So again, if you do not think we have your email, either send it to Miss Cindy at her email address that is posted in the chat, or you can drop it in the chat right now so that we have it. Otherwise, when you registered, provided us with an email, we will use that email to contact you. And we will email you over and over and over again. So please check your email on a regular basis, because that's, we're trying to get away from sending home a lot of paper notices. So email is the preferred way to communicate. So please make sure that if you provided us with an email, that you check it on a regular basis so that you don't miss something important. If there's no other questions, comments. Thank you to those few faces I got to see on camera. So that was very nice to see the faces that go along with you. Again, we look forward to meeting your children, and if nothing further, have a great summer. Enjoy the time with your children. Read to them. You'll get a book, a recommended book list to read with them in your letter. And we see the email addresses coming in, so we'll pick them out of the chat as well. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great summer, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.